All right, it's got to be time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I got it, 6:02.
All right, please all stand for the flag salute. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's get started here. The workshop meeting of the Ship Bottom Land Use Review Board is now open. The time is 6:03. The date is June 3rd, 2026. Upon completion of the workshop meeting, the regular meeting will convene. Both meetings meet all the criteria of the Public Meeting Act. Okay, so I know we have one thing for the workshop meeting. Mr. Raven?
Yes.
Would you like to cover that for us?
Sure. So this matter is LaRocca Estates LLC, James Raven on behalf of the applicant, LaRocca Estates LLC. We previously had presented to the board renderings of what the proposed north facade of the building would look like, and also included renderings of the westerly and southerly facade. The last meeting of the board wanted some additional detail with respect to the materials that were going to be used for the building, and my client did advise that it would be horizontal and vertical board, and the batten would be white, and they would use either vinyl siding or hardy, depending on the price and availability, but basically wanted to maintain a simple, clean, modern, coastal look is how they described it. So it would be in accordance with the rendering previously provided using the color and materials that I just described.
Okay, so I did have one question. The store sign on the north wall, is that drawn in per scale?
Not necessarily, but it'll have to conform to the ordinance, so we will not exceed the permissible square footage.
So, Frank,
Yep.
if you look at that, the ordinance, is a sign the size that they're allowed going to look too tiny on that wall?
Well, they're allowed 20% of the facade area, so I don't even think that sign's close to 20.
Okay.
But, so I don't think that
So
would be an issue.
my concern is we just didn't want a lousy little sign because the code said it could be a small,
No.
it had to be small, so
You
you're
can have a
fine.
decent-sized
sign on the north side.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to want to have a good size sign over there, but it will
Okay.
conform.
I
to
just
the
didn't want
ordinance.
it having to be too small.
Sure.
Any questions from anybody here on the board for this? Okay, so do I have a motion? This will be administrative approval. Do I have a motion for administrative approval for the sign for LaRocca?
Yes, LaRocca
Yeah.
Estates.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Okay, Sarah, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Schmidt? Approved. Vice Chairwoman Talon?
Approved.
Councilman Butkus?
I didn't hear the application, so I'm going to abstain.
Mr. Seal? Mr. Bishop?
Approved.
Valerio? Approved. Mr. Platt?
Approved.
Chairman Yankowski?
Approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Moving on, the regular meeting of the Ship Bottom Land Use Review Board will come to order. The time is 6:05 and the date is June 3rd, 2026. The time and date and the location of this meeting was published in the Beach Haven Times and the Borough official website, www.shipbottom.org. This was also posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building. The next regular meeting of the Ship Bottom Land Use Review Board is normally scheduled for June 16th. At this point, we have no applications for June, so if it stays that way, the next regular meeting will be July 21st. The conduct of this meeting is being recorded so all testimony can be clearly heard. At the appropriate time, the meeting will be open for public for any comments or questions. Maximum time period allowed to present testimony, witnesses, and other proofs are limited to 1 hour and may be extended only at the discretion of the board. The meeting will adjourn at 10 p.m. with no further testimony being taken unless otherwise ordered at the discretion of the board. All electronic devices and mobile phones should be shut off at this time. Sarah, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Zarzowski is absent. Mr. Dixon is absent. Ms. Schmidt? Here. Vice Chairwoman Talon?
Here.
Councilman English is absent. Councilman Butkus?
Here.
Mr. Basile? Mr. Bishop?
Here.
Mrs. Valerio? Here. Mr. Platt?
Here.
Chairman Yankowski?
Here. One note on that, Ms. Schmidt was not here for the last meeting, but she did go back and review the video, so she will be able to vote tonight.
I did receive her certification. Thank you.
Okay. Sarah, we do have the minutes. Everyone received the minutes. Any questions on the minutes of the last meeting? No questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes of May 18th.
May 18th, that would be correct. Any, a second? All in favor? Okay, meeting minutes are approved. Sarah, no bills list, correct?
Correct. No bills.
Okay, so moving on, the correspondence file is here. If you haven't seen it, we'll pass it on down to you. Next, we would have the application for this evening. Mr. Rayburn, you're up.
Yes, thank you. James Raven on behalf of the applicant, Baldwin Grill LLC. At the end of the last hearing that we were here for, the board wanted some additional information relative to both the site plan and the architectural drawings. So since that meeting, we did submit an updated site plan prepared by Mr. Cornick, who's here this evening, and also updated architectural drawings, which had a new detailed seating layout, location of bathrooms, which was one of the questions that the board had within the buildings. And with respect to Mr. Cornick's site plan, we provided a parking layout and lighting plan with respect to the properties across Shore Avenue from the subject property. And there's an additional 33 parking spaces that we're proposing on those lots for employees and any potential overflow parking. Mainly it's just to be used by employees and for the boat storage as previously utilized. And there's some additional detail on the site plan with respect to the buffering to be provided to the residential properties. We can have Mr. Cornick go through any of those details if you would like. But that's basically it. That's the gist of what we submitted since the prior hearing. And if you would like, I can turn it over to Mr. Cornick, or we can just answer any questions that the board may have, however the board would like to proceed.
There are some items that we have in the proposed resolution that are not covered here. Would you like us to discuss those after public comment, or would you like to go through that up front?
We can go through that up front.
Let's do it now,
Yeah, Frank agrees to, let's do it now. So let's start with, bear with me here. Frank, well, let's start with the, yeah, I do. The hours of operation, resolution is showing 12 p.m. to 9 on Monday to Thursday, Sunday to Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. Is that your understanding?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. The resolution shows you'll conform with May 27th and May 11th letters from Frank?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. The operation will be Easter to Thanksgiving, will not be open in the winter?
That's correct.
Okay. 295 seats?
Yes.
No deck on Building A?
Correct.
The mobile kitchen is not going to look like a food truck.
Correct.
It's going to be totally screened. And then we'd like to have more discussion on the long-term plan for the mobile kitchen. Do we have in here, you're consider making a permanent facility within the building, but we'd like to discuss that a little bit more. So what's the feeling on moving the food truck into the building at some point and making it a permanent fixture?
Do you have to swear in?
Yeah, you know.
Just identify yourself. You're previously sworn in. Is that correct, Mr. Vernon?
Yes.
Is that saying testify? Okay.
Good evening. The intention there would be to continue to research the permits and to try to locate the rest of the kitchen facilities within the building of B, in the back office area. We're going to hope that as we progress and into this summer, the intention would be.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Could you speak up a little bit more? So
Sure. The intention would be to try to make the kitchen permanent in building B, depending upon the necessary permits and time required to do so.
Okay, so,
That's going to be before next summer.
would you be able to do that by 2027?
We hope so, contingent upon permits and outside agencies, depending on, we would apply for it, yes.
okay, so your intention is to move it, and you're going to try to get it done for 2027, and as long as you can get the permits and they allow you to do that, that's your plan?
Yes.
Okay. We good with that? Okay. The loading area, no questions on. The trash, no questions on. Live music, we did have a little bit discussion. This is showing 3 p.m. It could start, end, sunset, and you'll be able to pipe in music during that time frame as well.
Yeah, we had previously said 1 o'clock Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 4 o'clock start on other days, but they're proposing 3 o'clock every day. What do you think on that? Okay. If possible, the applicant is requesting 1 o'clock Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and 4 o'clock is what we originally proposed the other day, but 3 or 4 o'clock would be acceptable on the other days, but it would be our preference to have Friday, Saturday, Sunday begin at 1 p.m.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, so what I'd like to do with that is let's hold that one and hear from the public on that, okay? So we'll come back to that one. The noise plan, again, the thought behind that was your efforts of being a good neighbor. You want to know if in fact there is a problem, and rather wait for complaints, you want to be proactive and have a control plan where you'll personally go and check to see if you're within compliance. Have you prepared any plan that you can share with us of what that's going to look like?
We don't have a written plan, but I believe Mr. Corning mentioned last time that there was somebody that specializes in that field that we were going to retain to take care of that issue. What was his name, Mr. Corning?
Norm Don, he's a professional engineer, acoustic engineer.
Okay.
I think the original statement would be to go via baseline, understanding what the noise is at the property lines, and then after operations, we can measure it again and check it.
Okay, is it fair to say that you could have him write that plan and get it submitted within when?
I can write the plan and we success in following it, so.
Okay, so when can we have that plan by?
Chris wants it right now, so we can get it to you at the end of the evening. But no, we can have it to you by the end of the week.
Okay, well, if you could lay it out, if we could pencil it in, I'd like to have that noise plan kind of buttoned up today, because I do think the audience is going to be very interested in the very specifics of what you're going to be doing to help ensure you're complying.
Right. So it's fairly simplistic. It's not overly complicated. What we have is a measuring device, and you measure the noise levels at the property lines, and then you record those, and they have to meet the state standard.
Okay, so maybe my idea of detail is a little bit more. I'd like to know the specific locations you're going to do that, the number of locations.
Sure. So I can carry over to, I don't know if you relate these exhibits. but I
As
can
we're
show
going
you.
through this, scratch them out, and then
Sure.
we'll come back.
Absolutely.
Okay. The northern side, I know there's been a fair bit of work on the northern property side. Is there any comments you'd like to make about that, or wait for public comment?
Yes, we are pretty much finished up most of the trees. We still have the fence to put up, some birdhouses and some additional other trees that will be ornamental to help with the neighbors. But we've had a standing dialogue every day and making sure the trees are in shape and they're going to flourish is our main intention right now. But I think we're in a good spot where I think established a real nice wall, fence line, and tree line, and able to maintain and fully spend.
And as I understand, you've held to your commitment of working hand in hand with the neighbors?
I did, but hopefully they're here tonight and they can testify that.
Okay. I see Mr. Fazio over there, so I'm sure he'll be coming in. We talked about the buffering plan. I see that on the drawing. I didn't see the additional curbing and the curb cuts on the plan for the lots across the street. So what we talked about is having a curb on the east side of, a curb and a sidewalk on the east side of Shore Street, and then on the south side of 7th Street, and then curb cuts however you feel you're going to need to allow traffic in and out of that.
May I add to the description on
On
that?
the north side?
I'm sorry.
You're talking strictly the north side, the curb cuts?
We're talking, yes.
Okay.
The north side for curb cuts, we did not request any curb cuts on the, no.
That's the east side.
Yeah. East side, no curb cuts. I'm sorry, east side curb cuts, no curb cuts north side of 7th Street is what we proposed.
No, I hear you, I just want to clarify.
Okay.
Give me the mic a second.
Sure.
Okay, just for clarification, so on Shore Ave, on the east side, we have the two lots, 1502 and 1601. So we're suggesting that you can have a driveway opening on each one of those lots with sidewalk on the east side of Shore. When you go around the corner on 7th Street, that has to be a full-face curb, so there's no traffic entering or exiting that corner lot off of 7th. So that corner lot's only going to be used for boat storage and trailers. There's not going to be any parking permitted on the lot 15.02. So I don't think we need sidewalk on 7th because we're not expecting anybody to park there and walk. Just sidewalk on Shore Ave and a curb around the corner on 7th. Unless the board wants sidewalk on 7th also.
Well, let's,
But I don't think there's any other sidewalk
no, there's.
beyond that, so
No.
I'd be okay with just a curb on that side, full face. So that you can't drive into that lot from 7th Street.
Exactly.
You okay with that?
No.
That wasn't what I was expecting to hear.
Are you accepting that?
I'm saying no, Chris is saying whatever they need to do.
All right, well, that's the answer.
So 7th Street, what we would prefer, because of that boat storage and trailer storage,
Yeah.
is so we have full circulation when he brings trailers and boats through, is to have a depressed curb on 7th. There's no intent, obviously, to park cars on that, that's not what we are proposing, but at least have the depressed curb so he's not hopping a curb with a boat trailer.
Well, we'll come back to that. We'll hear what the residents have to say and then go from there.
What width are you talking about?
It might be a trailer, then, I mean, 20 feet, so you make a truck to maneuver in and out of that.
The
that
reason I
street.
say you're taking away residential parking, at least one spot. So, okay.
We'll come,
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that one for the curb cut, 7th Street curb cut. We did talk about signage, parking circulation. We see you have that. The lighting plan
Yes,
you
good.
approved. The traffic report, let's talk about that a little bit. your plan for the traffic support, for the traffic report?
We are planning on having Betsy Dolan, who was here at the previous meeting, prepare a traffic study at some point during the summer months when we're at, regular summer capacity. So we will conduct a report and provide that when it's complete.
Can you give us the weekends you're planning on doing that at this point?
That's not how you do traffic studies, but
Chris is saying yes.
we'll do whatever you ask of us, but a traffic report, you're going to do trip counts is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
We know what our site's going to generate, so if you're asking us to do a traffic study on probably the busiest weekend, we can certainly do that.
So
And
let's
then
take
give
a-
you a baseline of a standard summer weekend as well. That way we can see the delta between the two and what happens.
So let's take July 4th weekend, and then let's take first week of August. That makes sense.
Weekend.
Well, I mean, the question really is whether I know that Mr. Vernon wants to be open by July 4th. I would suggest that you take the two busiest weekends, because they're gonna, correct me if I'm wrong, she will adjust it according to the standards, whether it's the July 4th weekend or the Labor Day weekend, right? I mean, she can adjust it.
Yeah, like I said, if we're doing a traffic study on trip counts, that's existing road infrastructure being impacted. And then we can do counts every weekend coming in and out of the facility. We're not going to do that, but we can pick those busiest weekends. I just don't know what it's going to do.
Well,
That's my concern.
look, if you don't make July 4th, then the other weekend that you would really want to check out is Labor Day, right?
Right.
Okay, so at the very least, you're going to do Labor Day, and then maybe pick another weekend in which so you've got 2 weekends that you can base it on. How's that?
That's fine.
All right.
Can I make a suggestion? Labor Day weekend,
It's dead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Labor Day weekend is busy, but not as busy as like what we call changeover weekend. August 1st, August 2nd, or whatever is close to that. Because a lot of people, school has already started in a lot of areas prior to Labor Day. So if you can't do the 4th of July, I would recommend the first weekend in August.
I agree. Okay.
That's fine. We're going to do 2
That's
weekends.
acceptable.
Got it.
Okay.
Moving on. Keith, we talked about you coaching up your team and prohibiting the use of 7th, 6th, and 5th Street. The one thing I would like the audience to know is that there is a new restaurant there that opened up on 8th Street, and they're not here tonight. So I trust that Chris and Mr. Vernon are going to train their people and keep them off those streets. But there is another restaurant there. So if you're having issues, just don't necessarily assume it's Hotel LBI. We may have to have the police talk to the new restaurant. Okay, but again, that's not this board. That's the compliance board. But you're still on for the coaching and your SOP for what your guys can do with parking.
Yes.
Okay. Mobile bathrooms, did we come up with a number?
So I think at the last meeting, we were discussing abandonment of the mobile restrooms after the first year operation. And then part of our application resubmission was the architectural plan that was revised. This was the same exact plan, but with modifications. It's proposed dining areas, the Salt Shack, James B. Foreman, dated April 28, 2026, with a revision of May 19th, 2026. He did go through the building code, and if you look at that bottom left of that page, you will see where the restrooms are mapped out. So he has a total of, he has adequate restroom facilities for this.
Okay. We talked about the second floor only being used for storage. And then your approval with all municipal ordinances, CAFRA, and those items.
That's it.
I think that's, anything else, Joe? Again, after we hear the public comment, and maybe there'll be some other discussion, things that we've missed. But at this point, I believe they would be the key items that we discussed the last go-around that you would have to be prepared to present tonight.
Mr. Corning was just able to mark up a colored rendering of the site with proposed locations of those soundings to take place, so I can mark this as an exhibit. Joe, I believe we're exhibit A3, is that right?
You're A3.
A3. So I'm going to mark as exhibit A3. It's 2 sheets, but only the first sheet is marked up. This is pages 1 and 2 of a site rendering plan prepared by John Corning. It's dated March 26, 2026, with the most recent revision date of May 2026. And again, it has those locations of the proposed soundings that will take place. So I'll mark this and provide it to Sarah.
Okay, so they would be the sites on site. Is there any proposal for going off-site and doing any noise study?
There's no intent because the state ordinance or state regulation for noise is at the property lines. So we have a decibel level that we have to achieve at the property line.
Understandable. From a good neighbor standpoint, let's listen to what the residents have to say, and then, Mr. Vernon, maybe you can adapt the plan based on some feedback we get.
Chairman, I just want to make sure that, I don't know if it was clarified, but we did modify the number of seats proposed from 360 to 295.
We mentioned that.
Yeah.
And I just want to go through the summary of the indoor seating versus the outdoor. We are doing 210 total seats between buildings A and B, indoor with 85 outside. I just want to make sure that was clear.
There was one, and I believe we covered it. These are going to be sun sails, not tents. Is that correct?
We were proposing tents, sun sails, and umbrellas, all temporary or seasonal.
Okay,
And also, just depending on whether those 210 seats, that's the maximum capacity we're proposing inside, but if it's nicer weather, there is a chance some of those seats could be moved outside. So the total will not exceed 295, but the applicant would like that flexibility to move some of those 210 outside.
Okay. No issue. Okay, so everything I've seen here shows sun sails. I have not seen anything that says tents. So am I missing it, or has it always been just sun sails?
Yes, the hope is that we can have the choice to do either. Tents are much more protective in inclement weather, and heavy winds, you can still keep some of the folks in the building dry, so to speak. Some shades aren't as weather tight by any means. There is a nice element where you do a smaller tent in the middle and surround with the sunshades and that landscape. And so I would like to have the ability, if it's the board's choice, to work with the township engineer to do one or the other, or I'm sorry, both, if it's something that works with the design, so to speak.
Okay, let's
I guess your covered area would be
Yeah.
defined as either wind sails or a tented area.
Does that include umbrellas too, or what are we doing?
Yes, that's it. Too. Some of them would be larger umbrellas, smaller umbrellas, resort umbrellas. There's
So
many different types.
you're really looking for 3, tents, sun sails, and umbrellas, is that what you're saying?
Yes, so maybe the shaded area would be defined as all three.
Okay. So let's hear some feedback on that, but I understand your point there. Okay, so I think that's all we have from your letter. Go ahead.
I have a comment that's important to the applicant. At the May 26th council meeting, first read on the parking ordinance, a huge ordinance, but it includes that what I'll call the 8th Street extension, no parking. Okay, that was requested be a while before we can put up signs legally and painted, just so you know that. Okay.
That's fine, thank you.
Yeah, that'll work out well, because you have the additional parking across the street anyway.
And it's good for the bikers.
Yeah, and it'll be safer for the bikes as well. Okay, so, Mr. Rayburn, anything else you would like to add before we open up for public comment?
I don't believe so, thank you.
The bike racks, I think we already had those on here.
It's on there.
Yeah,
By the day.
yeah, they're still up in the northern corner.
Right.
Right, Mr. Rayburn?
Yes. Yeah, up in the northwest.
And we're
corner.
saying a minimum of 20. Your judgment on that, you're going to get a lot of bikes there, so I'm sure you'll take care of that. Anything else, Mr. Raven?
Nothing further, thank you.
Okay. Seeing closing comments by Mr. Raven, motion to open for public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next portion of the meeting is going to be open for public comment. As I said previously, we're going to go with people 200 feet from the applicant. Then we'll go Ship Bottom residents, and if we have time after that, we'll go all others. I know there's a resident across the lagoon, so you do qualify for 200 feet, as you did last time. Again, we appreciate everyone's comment. We want to hear the comment, but if the point's been already made, don't belabor it. Let's move on. It's the first night of the NBA Finals tonight. So, we want to hear it, but again, if you have a new point, please let us know. If you're dragging on, we're going to hook you. Okay? So with that being the case, please come on up.
Hold on, there's your mic.
You want to read it? Okay, Mr. Rickback, I don't remember whether you were sworn in the last time, so can you raise your right hand? Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, self to God? Okay, can you spell your name for the record, please?
Harry, H-A-R-R-Y, middle initial W, last name R-I-C-H-E-B-A-C-H-E-R.
Thank you.
I live at 602 Shore, on the corner of 6th Street and Shore Avenue. I came here many years ago, and I asked my kids where did they want to live. They all said Beach Haven. So we went down to Beach Haven. The first 5 years were great. The Port of Call restaurant was there. There was no problems. Port of Call was sold. Tucker's came. Started the problem. Parking problems. People cussing. People taking urinating on the streets. Flower beds. Then I got very friendly with the police, and they did the best they could. Then the catch came in, and it got worse. So we moved there for my kids. Now my kids are all grown. 19 years ago, they said, "Dad, we got to get out of Beach Haven." And I said, "Let's do it." That was my first choice, but the kids went to Beach Haven. I moved up to Ship Bottom. It's been great. And about 5 years ago, I guess a lot of people started seeing it's faster to cut through 5th and 6th Street. And they would just come and go. There was no stop signs at all. We, as residents, we signed a petition, and the mayor was great. And we got stop signs. It was wonderful. It really, really helped. Then a lot of people didn't start stopping. And one day I almost lost my grandson he came across the street, guy went through the stop sign. And that was terrifying. And then I called the police, and I talked to Chief Potter a few times on the phone. And, you know, I kind of know all the police officers. And when we call them, they come right out, and they ticket people. And so I just don't want Ship Bottom turned into Beach Haven. That's what I'm afraid of. So, and today I met another one of your officers, and he was great. He came out and he said, are you willing to, if you catch somebody speeding or whatever, get your license plate? Are you willing to go to court and testify? I said, absolutely. And so I'm going to talk to the neighbors. If we got to stand out there and take pictures of these cars blowing stop signs, we'll do it. Because there's my grandkids there and other people. And as far as parking now, I know on Thursday nights, when we have the music, which is great, 9 o'clock it's over. I think 9 o'clock should be done no matter what day of the week it is. I mean, 1 to 9, that's a long day. And so, and also then people start parking in front of me, and which is, I guess they can, I don't know how far from stop signs you have to be, but they do, then they block my mailbox, and the one mailman, yeah, he's not real happy, so. But I just like Ship on back again. That's my story. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Roy.
Mr. Fazio, I think you were previously
Yeah, I was sworn in.
Okay,
Roy
just-
Fazio,
All right.
17 Story Avenue.
Eric, thank you.
And I'm a direct neighbor to Salty Shack and Chris Vernon. I want to start off by saying some real positive things. Chris Vernon has been great. If anybody hasn't come over to see the property, my house right next to it, it looks great. He's done a fabulous job with the trees and the shrubs. Had me go up to his nursery and pick out any trees that we wanted. He said we could put it in there. So I have nothing to say, but right now, positive comments. You know, Chris, I got to say, you hear so many different comments about you before I knew you, that the things that go on, and you start to think that this guy Chris is not a nice guy. But I ran a pretty good business for 40-some years, and I had a pretty good sense of when I hire people, and people are good, I got a good sense that he's going to be a good neighbor. So he's done great things. So I want to start out just by saying that if you haven't seen the property, you're going to come over. It looks great. Chris also, I found he lives in just outside of Ship Pond, so I think he's got a vested interest to make this work as a good neighbor. I think we can make life hell for him if we're on the phone all the time calling the police, you know, with different things. So I'm sure he's going to be a good neighbor. It's going to be real quick. I'm not going to be real long-winded. I think one of the things, especially in the first year, because a lot is unknown of what's going to happen with traffic, I think the property should be limited to not 295 seats, but an occupancy of 295. Because, you know, I don't know how many people are going to be standing around outside, even with drinks. I think that is important. Not talk about seats, but maybe talk about occupancy. And I think the other key issue is how are we going to make this accountable? When I ran my business, I had to make employees accountable. I gave them KPIs and things you had to be accountable for, but who's going to make it accountable that these things are really happening on the property? And, I think we give it 1 year, and then any other variances that come in, if we want to add more people, we can do that after a year if it works out. It's not really that good. But so far, I think things have been great. I think the only thing I would ask, you know, and I don't think this has to be land use board making this decision, but, you know, that there's a south cutout to come into the property, which is relatively from here and my driveway's right there. So I would like to ask, Chris if they can, and the Salty Shack if they can make it at an exit only maybe. Because it's gonna be a little tough for me sometime getting out of the driveway, I would think, at busy times. So if we can do something like that, I mean, I don't think that needs to be on the record, anything land use board would have to do. The other thing too is the turning off of the lights. If we get the lights off at a reasonable hour, like 10:30 at night, from the parking lot, I don't know what the legal issues there with lights in parking lots, but if we can have those turned off at 10:30 at night, that would be great too. I mean, the lights look great, so if you ever come over there, they're not your typical lights. Like you said, I think the lights are, I don't know what those lights are called, but it looks like they're going to go away from the property lines and stuff, so they do look pretty good.
Right, I didn't understand what you meant about the curb cut.
So I don't know what they're called. So you know how you can get in, they cut the curbs so you can go, like an entrance to come in? I thought they're called curb cuts, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, there's one of them that's literally, my driveway's like from here to that. So I would ask that maybe, we don't really need to have the land use board come in, but maybe to make it an exit only. And the only other thing,
Mr. Fazio, I would disagree with you, okay? That's exactly what the land use board does, okay? Is control exits and entrances on the driveway with regard to it. So that's something that the board will discuss with Mr. Byrne.
Okay. The only other thing, as I said, the parking lights are great, and if we can fill the parking space, I think Chris has agreed to doing that already. Like fill the parking spaces away from our property line first and towards the building. I think that would make it a little nicer too. The only other thing I have to say is that, Chris, I was kidding with you today, maybe have a Salty Shack 200 membership. Everybody 200 feet get a discount card for life from you that we can walk in and get a discount. And since the drinks sound like they were going to be very expensive, maybe half-price drinks. But that's all I would have to say. But I think, respectfully, Chris Byrne and the Salty Shack is going to be a very good neighbor. But thanks, Chris, for all you've done so far.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Roy. Hi, Lisa Bennett, I was previously sworn in. 369 West 7. First, I just want to, Harry, just FYI, I presented the Mayor's Council with a letter about resident-owned parking on Shore 5th, 6th, and 7th. And I just got today the template for a petition, so I will be going around. So we're going to work on that to get the parking situation. I just want to know that. I just need a couple of things clarified, if you don't mind. The issue about the parking, or where the boat parking is on the east side of Shore and 7th, and that whole idea of having a curb cut on 7th. My question is, if it is historical boat parking and has been for 20 years, why do we all of a sudden need a curb cut on 7th? We've never had it before. So, that's my question. And then the other is clarification, please, on the noise ordinances for New Jersey. I believe it was just misstated that it's on the where the noise is coming from, and it's not. The New Jersey noise compliance measured at or within the real property line of the receiving or affected property. So that's my house. So at 369 7th Street, if at 10:01 I feel the noise is too much at my house, I can call the police. So when you're measuring the noise, our neighbors across the bay, my house, a couple of people around on Shore, that is where you should be measuring the noise. That's it.
Thank you. Hi, Michelle Green, 25 North Bay, Cedar Bonnet Island. Just agree with the noise. I disagree with the comment, and from the research online, we can certainly, if he has some other document, would be happy to look at it. But what we've researched for Ship Bottom and the state is noise is measured from the receiving from the neighbor. So you need to measure from my house, from the neighbor's house. As you know, Brad Freeman was up before. He said he could hear the bands from his house more than when he's out listening to the band. The other is acoustic only, no loud live bands with lots of instruments. Love Naughty Pines, but like to listen to them at the boatyard, not across the bay. So if we can have regulations on the type of bands. The other question wasn't answered. How many bathrooms? You stated you were going to have them, but you never stated the amount.
They're on the plans that were submitted.
Right, again, you didn't state the amount.
So if you look at our plans.
I don't have the plans. Can you
They're right
tell me
here.
how many?
They're right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 restrooms. 2 of the 6 will be ADA accessible.
And that's enough for the whole restaurant?
That's enough for the whole facility.
The whole facility, plus the people going on and off their docks?
Correct.
The boats and the restaurant?
Correct.
That people won't be using the neighbors' yards? The other point is I agree with the other gentleman that the seat has no regulations, and I think the comment was there was no regulations on the amount of people that could be standing with beverages on the yard, so I think that's going to be challenging for the amount of people that can just walk onto the property, have a drink and stand, when all the regulations in Shippotham appear to be regulated by the seats. The traffic assessment, what happens after they do the assessment and it finds to be a problem? How's that going to be mitigated, or what's going to happen to the application? But I do want to say, Chris, you've done a great job cleaning up the property. We watch it every day, so very nice, nice job, nice work cleaning everything up. All of your buildings always look great. We just want to make sure that you're a good neighbor and that we all love living there as we have. So that can be assessed and addressed. What's going to happen after the traffic assessment is done. Thank you.
One question first, not for you. The number of bathrooms, we said 6. How many stalls are in each bathroom? Are you saying there's only 6 stalls?
That is the fixture count, so 6 toilets essentially. That's what's required by the building.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
That,
Frank, I don't have any comment on it. If it's building code, it's building code.
okay. Is there any way to put more in? I understand that's a code. Is there any way to do that?
Mr. Vernon's indicating if during the operation it appears that the 6 that we're proposing are insufficient, he will definitely explore putting additional fixtures in there to the extent possible.
Okay. Please, come on up.
Yes, my name is Brew Pascal, BREW. I have this sworn in. I'm going to try to avoid the redundancy because you're going to hear the same thing as the last meeting. And they're all valid reasons. So I just wanted to thank our chairman and members of the board for the time that you put in for something as detailed as this, because it's everybody's lifestyle this is actually going to affect. I have had the opportunity to deal with Mr. Vernon, and I have to say that he's the definition of carte blanche. So I think you'll be very pleased with the final results. But it's all of these other what-ifs that we're going to deal with. Mine is strictly going to be traffic. I don't want to get into all the other things. They're all valid reasons. We have a problem way before this place was even thought of. That beat-up old shack caused no traffic. And the gentleman before him, Harry, They come down my street, it's a drag strip. I even have a sign now. Slow down, this is not your racetrack. They give me the finger, they throw bottles at me, they back up, burn rubber. They love being intimidated, so that's not working. So here's what I'm begging Mr. Butkus, who is a councilman, when you go back to our council, because it's going to be up to them to make the decision when we, hopefully we, approach the council and beg them, come up with something for our street, because in Florida where I live, the speed tables work. They're not speed bumps, they're not useless rumble strips that make noise and do nothing. How many times do you slow down when you're going to the toll booth and hear those things? First thing you say to yourself, oh, there's those rumble strips. You're still doing 60. They're useless. Speed bumps, I think they're dangerous. Again, I mentioned it last time I was here, so I just wanted to re-echo my words. The speed table should be looked into. I'm going to say I'm not an engineer, but maybe 2 of them on my street. I don't know where they replaced them, how. I'm sure there's a formula. But they're as wide as this line to this line, and they're gradual. You kids aren't going to hit the ceiling when you go over, but it makes you slow down. It makes me slow down, and believe me, when you learn they're there, you slow down, because they're annoying. That's just what we need, because we're going to have double traffic, both ways. So the only thing I could say is I want everybody to be witness to me saying, I'm begging you to discuss it with them and get them to understand, if you were there and you saw what we see every Sunday, especially on changeover, when you're talking changeover, that day is a nightmare. That's when I put my sign out, my neighbors put cones out, they put the little green guy down there, and they, you know, the green guy means nothing. You know, people are brutal today. So anyway, I just hope that they would consider that, and I will be at the meeting to present that.
What is your street again?
6.
I got to tell you one thing that Florida doesn't have that we have. Snow plows.
Here.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
I understand the snowplow, and I don't want to stop you there, but I'm going to stop you there because, again, being in construction all my life, I understand things like that. Yes, you can discuss that with Public Works, no question. Yeah, and that's a very good point, because they'll panic when they hear about it. But yeah, speed bump is useless when it comes to a plow. You're right. And if the traffic expert, by any chance, wants to sit, I'll have a space for her on the lazy board out there. I'll even have beverages for her if she needs anything. But anyway, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Please, come on up.
Hi, Clark Cassidy, sworn in already.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your last name.
Cassidy, C-A-S-S-I-D-Y. Follow up on the speed tables. I had researched some of it. They have mats, removable table mats, 3 foot wide, 10 foot long, that I would suggest that we put at every stop sign, and we put them in May and remove them in October. Avoid the snowplow issue. They're about $600 a pop, and I think at least it will help the police when the Porsches come down doing 60, hit it, go airborne. They can't say, I didn't see the stop sign. They're like, really? You saw it. My suggestion, that's all.
Thank you.
Mike?
Again, we can't do anything with this.
We looked at that before. I forget what the issue was, but I'm going to refer the research to our engineer. Sorry, Frank.
I'm going to have, like I said, I'm going to have to look into it further to see what,
No, I realize.
I'm sorry. You realize that?
And again, just as Mr. Coronado just said, this is, we hear the concern with the driving. This is the wrong church for that, okay? Please come and talk with council about it and help them understand what your concerns are. Certainly, as an individual, I get it, but this board can't deal with any of that type of stuff, okay?
The police department's working on that too.
Right. Come on up in the back.
Cyril Basile, 316 West Fifth Street.
How you spell your last name, please?
Basile.
Promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to add to this issue of speed, even though this is not the audience for it. But why don't you just take away the reason why people have to come up 5th, 6th, and 7th Street? Close that on-ramp to 72. All right? It only adds to the traffic when you have to evacuate. All right? Because people are waiting, people from a stop sign are entering into a flow of traffic where you have a whole bunch of people evacuating. In addition to that, if you would add,
I'm sorry. Yeah, the comment is that would be state, so that would be something you can go to the council, and then the council would have to go to the state and ask for that closure. So something from a resident standpoint, you'd want to discuss with the council and see if you can get the council to go after the state for it.
because if you put up signs on 5th, 6th, and 7th, no outlet to 72, you just killed the reason of why people come up there in the first place and the danger that has been brought up over here.
Got it.
All right?
So basically what we're saying is, listening to you, is that they would have to go before the mayor and council, and the mayor and council would then have to go to the Department of Transportation requesting that that be closed off. But I could also tell you, I guess in my experience, is that they're probably going to want some sort of study, or they're probably going to want some sort of count, right?
Yeah, they're going to want to study, but the other thing that's going to happen here is if you close that off, everybody coming to this facility has got to use 5th, 6th, and 7th to get out and in. If you don't close it off, obviously people can come here, and if they're going off the island, they're going to go out
Use
that.
5th, 6th, and 7th to get out and in.
To some extent, but if you close that off, there's no other way to get out of here except everybody's going east on 5th, 6th,
Well,
and 7th.
anybody comes in on 5th,
Right.
6th, and 7th is
Yeah.
going to go out on 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Okay, I'm just
All right?
saying, I'm just saying.
You know, Chris, when you do your traffic study, this is going to affect you too, because it does back up, all right, on evacuation. I call it an angry person Saturday, because everybody's angry, all right? But it is going to back your traffic coming off your property. Okay? That's it.
Yes. Thank you. Suggest you go to council and make that request.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? I see you next time. Sure. Thank you, though.
Need you to state your name again, I know.
Ed Maffey, 357 West 6th Street.
Thank
you. The issue of occupancy that one gentleman brought up at being 295 and be that limited makes perfect sense, because the experience that I see is at the boatyard, we have 50 boats or 60 outside boats come in and park for dock and dine, and sometimes these boats have an occupancy of 12 or 15 people, more than the boat is probably supposed to have. So there's no control on the number of people that could conceivably come to the site by boat. And I think that the idea of total occupancy enforced is the only way to control the number of people who are going to be at the site.
Good point. The one thing I would mention is the boatyard has enormous number of slips that they have for dock and dine, whereas this current marina has many other slips that are already filled, and we will not be allowing them to increase the number of slips. So it'll be a little bit better than the boatyard, because they just don't have the capacity to put dock and dine boats at that marina, given how many annual slips they already have. But I heard your...
As long as we don't allow double parking of the boats like they do at the boatyard, and it just seems it's an unending capacity for people to come by boat.
One of the things we did put in the resolution is that they have 72 slips, and only one watercraft or boat can be in each slip. So that's something that is in the resolution to help not have a bunch of jet skis come in or multiple boats in one slip.
And I just want clarification on the comment that the engineer made about the number of seats could be taken from inside the building and put outside the building, but it's a total number of 295 chairs that you're going to have, or I don't understand how you're going to monitor that.
Yeah, so the plan that we submitted showed, the revised architectural drawing showed a capacity for 210 seats within the two buildings, and we were limiting to 295 seats overall. So I was just saying there may be times on nicer days where they don't want to fill the capacity inside and move some of those seats outside, but the capacity would never exceed the 290, the seating would never exceed the 295. Which is, it's something that you see, it's a common thing throughout the island where your number of seats fluctuates from inside to outside.
And the last question is on lot 1502. That's a residential lot according to the zoning map. It's in yellow. Is that allowed to have boat storage on it? Can I store boats on my property?
I mean, historically, that lot was used with the marina, and I believe the applicant stipulated that that would continue only for that purpose. And I think the board was acknowledging that fact.
Does it require a variance?
Again, I didn't believe it did, only because it was part of the marina. It was always used that way as part of the marina.
Always used, and legal don't come in the same spot.
I understand, but we'll let the attorneys hash that one out then. So.
And I don't believe there should be a curb cut on 7th at all.
Right.
Thank you.
I would agree with that for sure. We haven't gotten to finish that up yet. You want to address anybody else?
Anyone else? I'm sorry, please.
I was just going to say that. Hi, Sharon Dugan, D-U-G-A-N, 335 West Fifth Street.
I don't remember you testifying before. Can you raise your right hand? You promise to tell the truth?
Let's
get it right. To tell the truth, the whole truth, to help God. Okay, thanks.
Is this what's going to be approved? Is that the revised?
Yeah, that's it.
On line 22, it says Sunday through Thursday operations close at 10 p.m. I thought it was 9.
There are 3 notes on the plan that didn't get caught on the revision because we moved too fast, but those are going to be revised.
Okay, and that includes number 23 also, indoor seating. Okay. According to the New Jersey Uniform Fire Code, what will be the projected maximum building occupancy at the site?
So the architectural plan that we discussed, and Joe, I don't remember if we labeled this as another exhibit or not, the revision.
The revision, it's in the notes here that it was revised on May 20th.
May 19th for the architectural.
May 19th.
Right, so the architectural plan is representative of the building code. That's the architect. They indicated that in the one building, we'd have 62 seats, in the other building, we would have 148 seats.
I'm not asking for seating, so I was asking for maximum occupancy for the licensed area. How many people are going to be on the property allowable maximum at one time?
The building, the UCC building code is strictly building. Are you asking about the entire property?
The property, yes. What will we expect to have in terms of occupancy on this site?
We are 295 people is what's...
Sitting.
Correct.
No wandering around, walking, no...
I don't know if it's the purview of the land use board.
Let me see if I can help you. If somebody's on their boat, okay,
right.
I'm not sure that's part of the occupancy.
Okay,
right?
so...
And if I can, I think that the parking requirement is based on the seating capacity. And so I don't think it has anything to do with the actual occupancy capacity. Okay, and for instance, if you have your house and you have a party and you have 100 people in there, or you can fit 100 people in your house, nobody can tell you whether you can only have 75 or 100. I don't know whether or not the occupancy goes for the construction as to the overall site or not. That
I haven't heard anybody come up with that kind of a number.
Well, what goes on the sign when you walk in, maximum occupancy? Will that say 295 or will that say 500?
It indicates what you're talking about two different things. You're asking about the entire site capacity versus the building capacity.
Yeah,
so we represented what the building capacity is based upon plan.
Okay.
And then we're also discussing, I guess, the capacity of each and every inch of the land, and that's not the purview of the board.
Yeah.
We are regulated under seat count by parking.
Right.
We also are regulated by slip count for parking. And then we went even beyond that and took the entire building area and created a parking demand on that as well. So we are testifying that we are allowed 72 boat slips and 295 seats.
Yeah, Mr.
Let me just clarify what I'm trying to ask, I guess. As somebody who lives up the street, I'm wondering what kind of load we're going to be looking at in terms of people. We're looking at a boatyard capacity, people milling about, from whenever time to whatever time. We don't know.
Okay.
You've got 50 slips, and say 4 people show up in a boat, so that's 200 people there.
All right, so let me see if I can help you.
Okay.
As we indicated that this board has no control over the streets, that's something that would have to go to the mayor and council. The capacity that I think that you're speaking of now really deals with the building code and the fire code. And the fire department's going to decide how many. For instance, if they have, I apologize, John, how many did you say was in building A? 160, did you say?
Right, so building A would be 148.
Okay, so in 148 seats, but you could have waitresses, you could have people working in there, so that could be more than 148 people that would actually be inside that building. But that's not something that this board can control. It's out of our jurisdiction. So it'd have to be both with the building code official and also with the fire official as to the occupancy that would be allowed in that building.
Okay, and how will that be tracked? Is there somebody with
I'm not sure.
How is that? Well, you said. Well, how is that going to be? You say there's 295 people going to be in that building.
I think you were on track. So the fire code official will have a placard that says you can put, even if we represent that we have 148 seats, as Nana was indicating, that building can have more people in it based upon the fire code per square foot. There's going to be a placard on there.
Okay.
And it's going to say 200, 300 people. Right. That's what the occupancy can be.
Okay.
The purview of our board's job and our plan is saying that we can only put on. We're representing 148 in building A and 62 in building
Okay,
A.
so you're saying that just to clarify, the placard will say whatever, 200, who knows, whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
And how is that going to be tracked real time? Is there somebody who's
Just like it does anywhere else.
I'm not asking them how they're going to operate.
It's the duty of the operator to make sure that they're under the law. And just like we had in our first meeting, we had somebody unfortunately up there counting the number of people. They'll know what their occupancy is permitted.
And what's the method that they'll be using? Just so not real time, so how will they know?
It's no different than me walking in and saying, I have 148 seats and they're all filled, and I have 10 workers, I know that I have 158 people in there. If the placard says 150, then I have to get people out.
I think my question was, I'm just asking, how is that going to be tracked? Like, how many people did we walk in here? Is somebody going to be keeping track of what's going on? No. So we won't know how many people are in that building at any one time.
Yep. Let me just jump in. They're going to have to track it just like any other restaurant. Right?
I don't know restaurants, so I don't know.
Any other restaurant is got to have, right? So I could say that I know on the rooftop, they only allow so many people. They count people getting off the elevator. So I believe that they have shown goodwill for certain parts of their facility. But really, the only thing that we could do, or you can do, is if you think the building's being overly occupied, certainly you can go talk to the manager, or you can call the fire department and say, hey, they got more people in there than they're allowed.
Thank you.
Okay? Come on up, please.
Okay, you want to raise your right hand and promise to tell the truth, the whole truth?
I was signed in earlier.
Okay, so...
Jack Fitzgeorge.
Got you.
376 West 6th Street.
I have two questions. One, the traffic study, and it has nothing to do with how we're all upset about the traffic, but how is the traffic study going to be done? The last time I was here, I got the sense that it was only going to be how many cars are coming in and out of the parking lot. Are you going to be studying our streets? That's probably the big issue for us.
With regards to a traffic study, we have to study the location of our entrances and exits of our projects, so that would strictly be short where the access points are. We are not required to study 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, I understand that, and so I understood correctly that we're going to be monitoring the traffic in and out of your site.
Correct.
Can we request that you study our streets so that we can then go to the council and we have numbers and say this is a problem?
Well, I mean that's a township or city or borough road.
Right.
We have an engineer for the town. They can do those counts.
Okay, I'm asking if you would do it for us. That's all. You know, extend the study for us.
Pass the mic. Pass the mic. Yeah, I don't think we can obligate the applicant to do that, but if you go to the town council and they authorize
That's right.
a further study, we can certainly
I requested, then they said no.
we can put we can put traffic devices out to do traffic counts.
Because otherwise we're going to go to the council and not
Right.
get any information.
No, I understand that, but I think based on what I'm hearing from everybody in the audience, it's a problem.
It is a problem, right.
And
It would be
I don't,
nice to have data.
if I have data, you'll know how many cars are coming through there, which will be interesting, but you're right.
We're going to do traffic counts at the intersection.
Yeah, it's
You're
a
going to
count.
see the majority. You're going to see what traffic's coming off the shore onto the on-ramp to 72. So we'll see those numbers.
You'll see some of them.
You can distribute.
We'll get a general idea.
You get a general idea, and you
Yes.
can distribute those through 5th, 6th, and 7th. Not necessarily equally, but we can do things just to show you what's going on. Sure.
All right?
And then just one thing about the speed, what are they called, tables?
Tables.
Snow pond is not a problem. We have snow in Pennsylvania, we have speed tables in Pennsylvania, no problem with the snow, with what Brew recommended. They're fantastic, and I'm going to beg you as well. I'll get on my knees if you want, but
No, I don't.
you know, it's not, plowing is not an issue. So anyway, I'll take that up with the council.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Apologies, did you testify the last time?
Joe Nugent, 335 West Fifth Street.
Promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
I just have a follow-up question on I know the occupancy of the buildings. All the people that are outside, what facilities are they going to use to go to the bathroom? If there's only 6.
It would be the same facilities as inside.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Come on up.
Hi, Tammy
Right
Lorraine.
there.
Tammy Lorraine, I'm at 504 Shore.
Did you testify last time?
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Last time I was here, Mr. Vernon mentioned about eliminating the bathrooms outside completely. So is this just temporary?
Yes, the mobile restroom would be just for this first year, and then would be eliminated after year 1.
Completely eliminated? So
Yes.
everything will be inside next year?
Yes, after this first season, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay, come on up.
Sorry, did you testify last time?
No.
Okay, can you raise your right hand? Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
I need to state and spell your name for the record.
Pat, P-A-T, Merson, M-E-R-S-O-N,
Thank you.
371 West 8th Street.
Thank you.
No one's really talked about, I live in the condo association right behind one of the lots. I'm not sure what's happening. I think you're going to make it an employee lot.
Yes.
So, because there's never been cars, as far as I remember, in that. So how's all that going to work? And is there going to be lighting and blockage of our homes?
We did submit updated plans. There was a lighting plan proposed for those specific lots where there's 33 parking spaces proposed on those lots. John, I don't know if you want to speak to the nature of the lighting on those properties.
So similar to the lighting plan that we provided for the overall tracks, it's similar to that. We have LED lights mounted on poles with full cutoff luminaires. So what essentially you're doing is on the house side or your side of the condo, I believe, there'll be a shield there that stops the light from projecting towards your property. And again, the LED lights are a lot more efficient than what you've seen in the past in parking lots. So they direct the light downwards and towards the land. And what we'll do is we'll put them on a timer and have those turned off at night as well.
Will there be any plantings? I think there's a chain link fence at the moment.
Yes, ma'am. So as part of the comments, we were required to do a 5-foot wide buffer with fence and landscaping. So we were proposing that, and that's per the ordinance.
And how will the cars get into the lot?
So I'm going to go up, Frank or Joe. I think this was what, 8-3?
I don't remember.
Yes.
Yes.
8-3. It's hard to see with the light, but what we do have are 2 existing curb cuts on the 8th. One will be a one-directional in off of 8th, which would be on the, I guess you would call it the east side of the property. And then we have an exit up there, up on the west side of that property on 8th. Nothing on 7th and nothing on Shore for those.
So it'll go into the second lot to get out?
No, ma'am. To get out, you would come off of 8th on the second curb cut. I'm pointing to the plan of an application.
And will we still be able to park on 8th?
No.
In between.
I don't know, the state owns 8th Street. On the 8th Street extension, which is from Shore Avenue to the Bay, we'll have no parking.
It won't, because we park there now,
I'm sorry, yeah.
because we don't have adequate parking.
Yeah, she's talking here.
She's talking in here, not
Well,
there.
yeah, that's why I said along 8th Street, that's a state road. I don't know if you can park there now or not, I really don't know the answer to that.
Well, we do.
Where we're restricting it is the other side, where the electric company has the pole and the bike ramp comes up, you know, where the walking and bike ramp. All the way to the bay, that's where we're restricted. Nothing
So
east
right
of,
where our property.
nothing east of, no, nothing east of Shore Avenue. We know where's Union property. Shore Avenue.
So where will people park?
So in the
We have extra
existing,
cars.
in the existing condition now, on 8th, in front of these 2 lots, there are 3 curb cuts. We're only using 2 of 3. So whatever parking is currently occurring on 8th, we're not changing.
Okay.
If that helps.
Anyone else? Please come on forward.
Promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
I need your state, spell your name for the record, please.
Frank Dumont, D-U-M-O-N-T, 1512 North Central Avenue, Surf City.
Thank you.
I am also Director of Community and Economic Development in Hamilton Township. Mr. Vernon builds many projects in my town, and I just want to confirm to you that his projects are quality built. Just talk of being a good neighbor. You're not going to have a better neighbor. You're not. That project, that marina, was an eyesore for me for 31 years I've lived here. And we're getting a quality project. I understand the traffic, and it is a concern. But you know what? The old owner never cared about the traffic. And you know Mr. Vernon will. We had an issue last year where a volunteer firefighter lost his house in a fire. Mr. Vernon put him up, provided food for him, and took care of the individual until insurance was able to kick in. You're going to get that type of person in this development, a good neighbor. And when you have a problem, you're going to be able to go to him, and he's going to stand with you side by side. I can attest to that fully. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
One lady.
Oh, come on.
You need the
Mike,
mic.
please.
Grab the mic. Right over here.
Carol Martinez.
One second. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, self your
Yes.
Okay. I need you to spell your name, please.
Karen, K-A-R-E-N, Martinez, M-A-R-T-I-N-E-Z.
Thank you.
And I live on 241 West 22nd Street. I've been here for 26 years. And a few things I have questions for. I definitely don't think you have enough bathrooms. Okay, that's number one. I don't know how many are inside or outside, but 6 portables for that amount of people. I question the site occupancy. I know you're talking about the inside seating, the outside seating, but how are you going to control people just hanging around, having a drink at your outside bars? So I'm talking about site occupancy, not just the seating occupancy, and how you can control that. And are you actually going to turn people away and say, we are full, sorry, you can't come here on the property? The other thing is, what about bike racks? There are going to be a lot of people going by bicycle to this site.
They're on there.
There are bike racks? Okay, good to know, I didn't see that. And the other thing, this is a residential area. We've had a few meetings, and I hope you board people, listen to the residents here of Ship Bottom. And Mr. Vernon, I know you build well, I know you have cleaned up the lot, and what you have done in the area has turned out very nice. But remember, listen to your constituents. Remember, this is a residential area. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. As long as it's not about traffic. You promised.
Chris might be able to.
Come on up.
Get the mic. He's got it right there.
Oh, no, it wasn't the traffic. No, I just want to know what the square footage of the kitchen, the portable kitchen, if you know the square footage of that.
628, is it?
It says 678.
Yeah, it's 678.
678.
Okay, so I'm just curious, on a standpoint engineering-wise, when he gets rid of it, what would it avoid him to say, I want to bump out 600 square feet and create a kitchen where it sits now? Or does that turn it into a whole different plan, like a
He'd have
major
to come.
plan?
He'd have to come back before the board.
Yeah.
That I understand, but I mean, I see that happening, which is good. So I was just wondering if that would be something that's going to be considered, is whatever the square footage of the portable kitchen is, where it's at between the buildings, bumping it out in that amount of square footage of what he has existing, and just erase it, and now it's permanent, that's all.
So, 2 points on that. One, it's a consideration. At this point, he has not committed to eliminate the on-site kitchen. And then the second point is, if he did do that, he would have to come back for a variance. And at this point, Mr. Vernon has stated that this is not a phase project. So the only, quote, non-phase or phase that's happening is the bathroom and maybe the kitchen. At this point, he has testified that it's no other phases. And in my mind, building a building for a kitchen would be potentially a phase. Okay?
The other thing is he may have to go to the state. He'd have to apply to the Jersey DEP to expand the site also.
Anything else? So I'd like to make a motion for a 10-minute break.
Close the public first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Do I have a motion to close the public?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, this portion of the meeting is now closed to the public. I'd like to make a motion for a 10-minute break.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, let's get started. From a board standpoint, I did keep what I think to be very good notes from residents and the comments that they had, which would be over and above what we already covered as a proposed resolution. So in aid to have some structure here, what I'd like to do is list through what I have, and we could discuss it, and then if I missed anything, we'll cover what I might have missed once we get through this list. So the very first thing I have is the lights go off at 10:30. Any discussion from the board on that? Is that a problem?
That is not a problem. We can do lights out at 10:30.
Okay. The next one, actually, I'm going to hold off on that one. I'm going to hold off on that one. Curb cut at 7th Street. I know you heard from a board standpoint, we really weren't supportive of having a curb cut on 7th.
That's acceptable. We will not have a curb cut on 7th Street.
Okay. Next, a lot of issues for noise plan, and certainly from our discussion from the board on the property really doesn't seem sufficient, and from a resident standpoint, they weren't happy with that. So how would you be willing to expand this noise plan?
Yeah, what we could do is follow basically the 200-foot radius with respect to what we're required to notify on the certified mailing. So we can do that with respect to the noise study as well. So we'll put the soundings out at a perimeter, a radius 200 feet around the property.
Okay, so it's kind of like a north, south, east, west, kind of like a campus.
How about on the other side of the bay? Across the Cedar Bonnet?
And across the bay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Going to come back to that one too. One way for Mr. Fazio coming out, having a one-way street there.
Yes, that's acceptable.
Okay.
That driveway.
Type of music, can we expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, rather than limit the types of music, we would just agree to follow the noise ordinance and not exceed the noise ordinance.
Okay. The traffic plan, we talked about the traffic plan, having it. I know your comment was you kind of get the benefit of 7th, 6th, and 5th because the people are going to be going in and out of your driveways. When we say driveways, you're talking about the driveways into your restaurant as well as the driveways into the quote employee lot. So you'll be monitoring all those.
Yes.
What's your intent to do with that traffic study? You have it? What's the plan when you get that information?
We can submit it to the board, and then what we can do is after the season concludes, we can come back to the board at some point and discuss the results of the traffic study, as well as at that point we'd be willing to come back and discuss the bathrooms after having a season under our belt to see if we do need additional bathrooms beyond what are there. We could explain to the board what our intent is there, and
maybe address the noise issue.
yeah, right. And the noise,
so
depending on the results of the noise study, if we need to address that as well, we will.
So you'll come back for the traffic study to address, you'll come back for the noise study to address, you'll come back for the bathroom to address, and then you'll come back for the kitchen to address.
Yes, and we would have a public hearing for that, and I would provide notice again for everybody within 200 feet.
Okay.
And also just with respect to the bathrooms, in speaking with Mr. Vernon, we'd also be agreeable to, based upon the fact we're doing mobile restrooms for this summer, we'd be willing to adjust the depending on demand. So if it turns out that the initial number of mobile bathrooms is insufficient, we will increase them accordingly. That'll also help give us a better plan as to whether we need to expand for next year.
So, again, bathrooms were a sticking point. Rather than waiting to see if you need another one, can you just add another one now?
Sure.
To start out with an extra one?
Sure.
Okay. Talk about that.
And then you're going to do this prior to the 2027 season, right?
Yes, that's correct.
The one point came up was the sun shades, tents, umbrellas. Any further the discussion on that, and from a board standpoint, is there concern with that plan, or is that something we'll leave at their discretion?
The construction official will check it for fire rating. Other than that, I don't have a concern.
Okay. Let's see. So now the two I left off the list. People.
So let me help you out with that. I don't think this board has any capacity to restrict the occupancy load for for that site. It's really all done between, it's a different church, so to speak. That's got to be done by the construction, and it's going to be done by the fire. So this board can't come in and, if the town's having some sort of street fair down by water, this board doesn't have any control as how many people can attend or not attend. That's something that's done by the town. You really have no authority at all to control the occupancy for that facility.
So, Mr. Vernon, from a good neighbor standpoint, could you address the crowd of your feelings about occupancy and?
Of course, Mr. Chairman. So our intention here is this is not going to be a boatyard. You can't have two boatyards. It doesn't work in a business plan. Our intention is to have a totally different experience. There'll be a hostess station. There will be reservations. There will be a open table seating reservation system that if you book online and there's nothing available at a certain time, you can choose to come a little later or a little earlier. So there's a very controlled environment here on how many people are expected. The area will be completely, it's a fraction of the size of the boatyard, and it'll be much more screened and landscaped and more neatly done with flowers and trees and shrubs in the dining area, inside and outside. This is a really unique piece that's much, I won't say much more upscale. It's a different type of more controlled environment, dining destination for the guests.
Okay. One thing as we talk about occupancy is the 72 slips. Can you confirm that that would be boats and/or jet skis?
Yes, currently we have 72 slips on site. That's our intention to keep that number.
Okay, so 72, any type of watercraft should be the most that's on site?
Yes.
Okay. While you have the microphone, can you please talk about the hours of operation and what you are willing to do with that, and I guess a little bit of your reasoning?
Sure. So weekdays, Monday through Thursday, we'd like to run until 9 o'clock. And then we'll close at 9 o'clock. Last call's a few minutes before 9. Kitchen closes, and basically we wrap up. The staff usually leaves their lights off on any given weeknight. By 10 o'clock, everybody's off property. So weeknights, we can even turn the lights off a little bit earlier than 10:30, 10 o'clock or so when the staff leaves safely. Weekends are Friday, Saturday, Sundays, and that's where we'd like to run until the 10 o'clock, no, I'm sorry, 11 o'clock hour time frame. 10 o'clock, Megan's the operation, so. 10 o'clock is Friday and Saturday, we'd like to run until 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock on Sundays. Sunday and Thursday, yes.
Okay, and so is there any consideration on your part for going less? I know it's seasonal business, So you have to make it when you can, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you still need to keep it at 10.
No, just Friday, Saturday.
I'm sorry, Friday, Saturday?
Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
It's there until 10.
So not Sunday,
Close
Monday,
until 9.
Sunday through Thursday would be
Sunday
9.
through Thursday, yes.
Okay. From a board standpoint, from a board standpoint, they were my comments. So anything I'm missing?
Yeah. We just need clarification on the size of the trailer. There was the kitchen trailer was mentioned, it might be 678 square feet. I don't know where that number came from, but with a 10-foot wide trailer, that translates to something 70 foot long. So can you just clarify that, is it a standard or?
Yeah, so I don't know where that number came from either, but it's about a 10 by 40 trailer, so about 400.
10 by 40. Okay, thank you.
You got that?
And it's one trailer?
Yes, ma'am.
Just one.
One trailer, what's it?
One trailer, 10 by 40.
The mobile kitchen.
The mobile kitchen.
It's the square footage that was in the plan is incorrect.
It shows 678 square feet on the plan.
Anything else? Dan, I'm looking down your way. You good? Anything else? Okay. Seeing nothing else, do we have any motions? Well, okay, so seeing motions, I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that according to the resolution that's written on June 3rd, 2026, with all of the changes that were just agreed upon.
That would be lights going off at 10:30, no curb cut on 7th, a noise plane going to 200-foot radius, one way on the exit drive, on the northern exit drive by Mr. Fazio's house. They would follow the noise ordinance, but they would come back with the traffic plan and also any issues with the bathroom, noise, bathroom, traffic plan, and there was kitchen, okay. Prior to the opening of the 2027 season, with the public notice being given within the people within 200 feet.
And the extra bathroom trailer for this season.
Yep.
So that would be the motion that adheres to everything that is in Frank's two letters, the 11th and the 17th, as well as all the previous comments we had that Mr. Coronado has, and then the additional list that we just went through. So that is, okay, so I have a motion. We have a second. Okay, sir, we have a motion and a second. Will you please call the roll?
Chairman Yankowski?
You want me to go first?
I made the motion.
Mr. Bishop?
Approved.
Ms. Schmidt? Approved. Vice Chair Talent?
Approved.
Councilman Butkus?
Yes, I approve. I just want to say the public input on this, I've been on this board 26 years this month, was incredible. And I think the give and take also on the applicant's part was really good. So, yes, I approve.
Mr. Basile? Approved. Mrs. Valerio? Approved. Mr. Platt?
Approved.
Okay, thank you all for attending. Oh, that's right. Okay, so do I have a motion to adopt the resolution of this, with everything we just talked about of the motion being
Yes,
approved?
I'll make a motion.
So we have a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
We have a second. Sarah, can you please call the roll?
Vice Chairwoman Talent?
Approved.
Ms. Schmidt? Approved. Councilman Butkus?
Approved.
Mr. Basile?
Approved.
Mr. Bishop?
Approved.
Mrs. Valerio? Approved. Mr. Platt?
Approved.
Chairman Yankowski?
Approved. Do I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
I gotta look at speed tables. Speed tables and humps.